Good morning. Last Saturday we finished a, a 30-day practice period, and it's called Ango, and Ango it means peaceful dwelling, and on means peace. It could be on means peace, and actually in one of the writings it says the zazen I speak of, is not meditation. It's the Dharma gate. It's the Dharma gate of repose and bliss. So it's very interesting because on and repose, or this peaceful repose, is very interesting. Of course, this repose, it's actually, when I looked it up, it says it's that the activity of not doing anything. It's a quiescence. So it's something that's a quiescence is something that's so deep that it's before this before we do. So this peacefulness is something that is innate within yourself and within actually all things around us that we see. It's an innate, this peacefulness. Quiescence, so it's a tranquil and peacefulness, but not as in another type of peace, but it's so great that it's we cannot even conceive it, this peacefulness. Ango, go is dwelling, or our translation of it is dwelling, I think. And the Ango comes from a very traditional monasteries. They have a three-month training in the summer, and then in the winter time, in which all the practitioners like us, they get together under one roof to practice this peaceful dwelling. A dwelling is not some place that you live, but it's to be where you are, or it's somewhere. It's dwelling is like it's like a tree that's deeply rooted. So it's deeply rooted in this peacefulness. That's this non-doing. So of a very, I think of it kind of like, actually right now I think of it kind of like a ship we're on. It's a ship we're on, a ship out to the ocean. I think Roshi was talking about you sail Out doesn't float, but it sinks, and the sinking centered self. So the the schedule consists of we get up early in the morning, uh, we have zazen in the morning, we eat, we do work practice together, we clean together, we eat a certain way together. Actually, we get up from our cushion together. We walk together. All this is directed towards uh, this direct experience as feeling one body, as one body. So I was the other day. I think I had a conversation of I couldn't imagine being on a ship with people, but this is this is a ship. Because there's people who you like, there's people who you don't like, right? And you have to get along because you can't go anywhere else. And so this sinking has to do with grinding and polishing up against the edges of this self-centered self on this ship, and then we let it go. We actually let it go. The forms and the the schedule is so tight that now I get up. Actually, I get up 5 minutes before the alarm rings now. But before I used to alarm ring would my alarm would ring, and then I would stay in bed for like a long time and not want it to be the time that it is that it is. So now the alarm will ring too, and then I get up, I put my clothes on, and then I walk to the zendo. I live up the road. This morning I looked at the moon and the stars, and it's so beautiful. Just walk to the zendo and then you sit down. So the schedule and to do this type of training um, uh, directs directs your energy, in which then it appeases the hungry ghosts or all the negative thoughts that you have, the hungry ghosts of oneself. It appeases, but you don't keep on feeding it. So the hunger ghost doesn't stick around. You feed it, and then the hungry ghost goes, because your energy is directed in just doing what is in front of you through the schedule. And so over time, then you realize actually how much energy that you are investing in this self-centered person. And basically on the mat, you're just wrestling with this person on the mat until you let this self-centered self go. I was talking to a student during Ongo, and it was Hokan, the first Shuso, which is the head student. How you go up to the altar, you put your palms together, and then you bow. And interesting because in one lineage, Suzuki-roshi's lineage, or Sojiji style, this is a different temple style. You go up to the altar, you bow to the altar, and then you don't turn your back to it. So you go this way when you come from the altar. So you never turn your back from your teacher or from the Buddha, which is your awakened self. When you bow, that's when the awakened self is there. But don't turn your back. We usually say, We usually shake someone's hand and then we turn our back and then we leave. But with all things, you look at the Buddha. Of course, we think then the Buddha. Oh, we should revere the Buddha because it's usually the Buddha is higher higher than oneself. So when we look at the Buddha, oh, we bow. But when we bow, that's the activity of actually forgetting the self. It's forgetting the self. So we have zazen in the morning, and then we do, before we recite the sutras, we do nine bows to the floor, and we put our head to the floor. And these 9 bows are for getting rid of the self. So you touch your head to the floor, and for many of us, including me, many times when you're down, you feel very vulnerable, and the self, you do it thousands of times. When the self, you're there, you're not there, you're bowing, you're not bowing, then the things or the bowing is just the bowing, and that's when then all things become one. They become one. So you could bow. I bowed to a lizard in the Doksan room. There's actually 2 lizards that live on the screen. This is in the Doksan room, and they're over Suzuki-roshi's altar. I thought it was dead a week ago, but he didn't move. I guess lizards don't move that much. And then when it got warm, then another one appeared, and then they changed configuration. So I bowed to the lizard. The lizard could bow to you. So this is very important. It's the activity itself in which then all things become equal. Bringing your hands together when we bow. Roshi says it's a universal, like in prayer, people put your hands together to become one. The left and the right and the wrong, peace and war, love and hate, all one. You embody it, and then you surrender. You surrender the self. So this merging with all things. When you bow, you have all the things, all the things in your mind when you bow. So these things then are not just things in your mind, but they're things in which then this is the body that you're bowing to yourself. So it's you're holding up this your awakened mind. Of course, I'm putting words to it now. You're waking up, you're holding up your awakened mind, and it's over your conditioned thinking when you bow. So when we do something like this over and over again, then the self starts to drop off, and then your spiritual path, which is this peaceful repose and this rootedness, then starts to emerge, and that becomes then this path, or it's a faith. It's a faith, or this deep trust in which it's a direct experience, and it's not about learning something outside of yourself, but it's something then that you feel. And you don't feel. Once you feel it, it's not right. when you feel it, and then when you don't feel it. See, you understand when you feel it and you don't feel it. Right in the middle, when you feel it and you don't feel it, then that's when it's true. That's when something is true. And that's when then um, this the anga for me was very interesting, and it was part of it was uh part of the anga was through the Chinese Historical Society doing this offering for all the Chinese, the Chinatown in Petaluma, and that started to bring up something then, and it started to so it's like our zazen, it starts to merge, then all the things outside of yourself that you meet start to merge, and this is when then it's all one body. So after on our days off, uh, Kashin and I, my wife, we went to the Asian art museum. Someone took us there, and on the second floor, there's a very small exhibit of a park. Is it Park Dae Sung? Is it Korean Park Dae Sung? And he was born in 45, and he's he's a modern, like a modern painter, and but he does these incredible landscapes, like the Chinese paintings, landscapes of like the waterfalls, and he does it in it's a, is it called an ink wash? I think it's called an ink wash, and he layers. So when he does the painting, he layers these washes in which, when it comes to the edge, it looks like there's many layers. So you can see by their huge brushstrokes. So I think the size of his paintings are kind of the size of the square on the wall. So they're like 7 feet, maybe. Is it 10 feet? Could it be 10 feet?
Yeah, from floor and up to the second floor.
Yeah. So there's these big strokes that he has, and then you see we sat there for like an hour, for an hour, and in the middle then it is an empty space in which then the waterfall, comes down from the mountain, and it's just so beautiful. And he gave, I read an article after, he gave away all his paintings that he's done, like 850 paintings. He donated them, and then also he teaches for free. Anybody that wants to take on this tradition, he teaches for free. And the paintings were just beautiful. This this the paintings, I think two of the paintings were called um, nine dragon nine, what is it, nine dragon, nine dragon mountain, I think. And I think it's a famous waterfall and a mountain in Korea. And we were walking then, uh, across the street from the Asian art, and of course the person says, so what's the symbolism of nine? And of course inside then I started to think about, oh, we do the nine prostrations, but then I was all like, I shouldn't respond like that. It's too Zen, you know. So I didn't respond, and later on in the day, we walked by this bookstore, and I walked into the bookstore, and we were just looking around, and then I picked up this book by it was a biography of Peter Matheson. And Peter Matheson is a novelist, like ecologist, and also writes about justice and equality. And he was a student of Bernie Glassman, and he became a student of Bernie Glassman, and his book then is called Nine-Headed Dragon River, and then his name is Muryo, which means immeasurable light, immeasurable impeded light, or immeasurable life. And of course then I started to look up this nine, and I had a conversation actually with Shinko just the other day, and I asked her, so what is nine? And she said in Chinese, then Gyu, is it Gyu? Gyu, it's the same. Nine is the same as longevity, eternal, complete. Oh, on my signature, and I should have thought of this too. On my signature, it says Q high, which means nine prostrations or nine bows. I read a little story here that I looked up. In last week there was a person that emailed me from Japan, and he lives in Japan, and he wrote about his wrong deed of stealing from the Zen Center. He stole. I think he went into Roshi's either Doksan room or the studio, and he stole something out of it. And he wrote me. He wrote me. He brought it back years later, but I hope that my wrongdoings have been let go. So there's then the dragon, nine-headed dragon. There's these two. When I looked it up, one legend is that it's at the Togakushi Shrine. It's in the year of 849. There was a monk named Gakumon who took up residence in a cave on the mountain. As he recited the Lotus Sutra, a fearsome Kuzuryu, which is a nine-headed dragon, appeared before him. And the dragon told him that he was once the steward of a nearby temple, but he stole donations made to the temple and kept the donations for himself. So his wrongdoing then, since this wrongdoing, he was transformed into a dragon. And so Gakumon, he was reciting the sutras, and finally the dragon achieved enlightenment. So the dragon said to Gakumon that he will remain in the cave and protect this area. So Gakumon sealed the cave's entrance with a big boulder, and then the dragon blessed the land with rain and water. That's one of the stories. The other story has to do with the river that flows off of Hakusan, and Hakusan is the mountain that Eiheiji is on. It's at the base. Eiheiji is kind of it's the Vatican for Soto Zen. Eiheiji in Japan. So Hakusan, when you look at Hakusan, it's a white mountain because all the caps they're always white. So Hakusan Mountain. So named Taicho made a pilgrimage to the summit of Mount Hakusan. While sitting zazen beside a pond, a 9-headed dragon emerged from the water. The dragon revealed itself to be a Shinto goddess, Izanami, while Taicho recognized it as a manifestation of the 11-faced Kannon. So the Kannon, which is that statue right here, she is the goddess of mercy and compassion. And if you look at her, the head on top of Kannon, if you look at the front, they all look, the little heads, the Buddha heads, they look very nice. But when you look in the back, the heads get distorted. This is what we wear all the time. But on top of that is then a Buddha head. So Kannon, the goddess of mercy, Taicho then established a temple, Heisenji, which is up the river from Eiheiji. 50 years later, a 9-headed dragon appeared before a whole bunch of priests that were practicing at Heisenji. And the dragon was seen in the river then carrying a statue of the Kannon downstream. And after that, it became known as the Kusuryu River. The 9-headed dragon. It's crazy. The 9-headed dragon river. And it probably, the prostrations, they come from all these stories and all the myths and special Buddhist numerology as well. So when the Naga, it was the Nagas that was in India, right?
India, right.
And then the serpent resemble. What did the serpent resemble?
Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom. So as it traveled then through China, then it became this dragon. But we think of the West, we think of the dragon as this fire breathing, but the dragon is wisdom, cultivation, and it's enlightenment. There's nine, if I could remember them, there's 9 virtues that the dragon, for the quality of enlightenment, I think like wisdom, compassion, patience, humility, a joyfulness, mindfulness. I think gratitude, there's two more I forgot, but there's this nine for enlightenment. Um, so the so I so Muryo, this is his Buddhist name. Then the next day we had a I gave we had a memorial, or there's a funeral for Roshi's sister who passed away, and this was at a temple in Palo Alto. It's a Jodo Shinshu temple, and I did. The family asked me then to do the burial ceremony on Tuesday, so we went down there, and then Muryo has to do with the Jodo Shinshu of the Namu Amida Butsu is the immeasurable light, and I'll read on this poem that I read.
Maybe you can say what's the main practice of Jodo Shinshu? Maybe people don't know.
This will do it. I think this is out of the Uchiyama Roshi's book. Do you guys know what time it is? Because this could turn into a lifelong story. So you please move around. You can move around and feel like you can. But it's just been very, very interesting, this, and I think it's the cultivation from the practice of this ango. So this is out. So this is from Uchiyama Roshi, and he says, as I get older, it's gotten more and more difficult to do zazen. So in my last years, I've been chanting the Namu Amida Butsu instead. And this is a recent poem that he wrote. And this is the poem that I read at my aunt's funeral. Namu Amida Butsu. Amida is immeasurable life. That is the life of whichever way I fall. This is my life. Namu is to return to life. Return, that is, to my life. Whether I think so or not, whether I believe it or not, pulled by the magnetic power of the undeniable reality of my life, in speech, in body, and in mind, always now, here, at this moment, in this place, am I enabled to function as Namu Amida Buddha. This is the meaning of Buddha, and a Buddha is a true adult. So he goes into, in Japanese, the sense of Amida is translated as Muryo. This is Peter Matheson's book. Muryo is his Buddhist name, which means immeasurable, but in a way that has nothing to do, like in the beginning that I was talking, it's so vast and it's so big that we cannot conceive it. On the altar in Jodo Shinshu Buddhist temples, we can often find written Namu Muryo Ju Nyorai, which means to take refuge in the immeasurable Tathagata. So this is bowing to the Buddha, or bowing to all things. Just the bowing is to take refuge in the immeasurable Tathagata. Whichever way we fall, Muryo is our all-inclusive self that is all our life. So anything that we encounter is the self. This camera, me and you, This is the bowing of this one body to the self. Namu is translated as to take refuge, means to return to life. That means to be deeply rooted in what you do, to feel this peaceful and repose. So this peaceful repose is returning to this life. And when we return to this life, then it is all inclusive of all things. My personal life experience includes everything, good and bad, right and wrong, subject and object, all things. It includes all things. Or to turn it around, I am alive by personally experiencing all things as my life. The kind of life I am living is one in which I am alive regardless of whatever might befall me, whether I think something is right or wrong, good or bad, whether it's a thought, whether I believe it or not. We're always pulled by this magnetism of undeniable reality. That's exactly what's in front of you. You're pulled by it. It's just that we're simply not aware of it. So it's exactly like when we sit zazen, we're pulled by the gravity of undeniable reality, meaning once we feel ourselves on the chair, you have that split second where you feel yourself on the chair, you have arrived at your immeasurable life of all things. Usually we don't realize that we're there, so we're somewhere else, and we don't think that we can't feel our body as to the ground. We're pulled by the force of the earth's gravity, whether we realize it or not. It's a matter of having that frame of mind. So we recondition our mind to open and accept then all things as equal. The Buddha, the camera, the lizard. The matter of having that frame of mind of always functioning to return to one's life is this deeper sense of Namu Amida Butsu. Let's see. I'm almost done. To put it in another way, this is like what I said. Everything we encounter is the self. So it's an offspring of our life. As a self not balanced or opposed by one another. So it's not separated. So it's like when you go to the ocean and look at the ocean becomes you. You are the ocean. So with this attitude, we take care of the various matters and events that come up in our lives. This attitude applies, of course, to all the people we encounter in our lives as well. The practical functioning of this all-encompassing life is the sense of when good is being fully carried out in our life. It's a goodness that's a universal goodness. It's just so beautiful. So when we're sitting zazen comprise of the life of Jiko, or whole life. Moreover, in our day-to-day life, this is the meaning of shikan, or sitting zazen, or just sitting. When good is being fully carried out, amida, or immeasurability, comes to welcome us. Amida gathers good quicker than iron is drawn to a magnet and is stronger than the Varabaka winds. Anyways, I think I should stop. Anyways, I wanted it all kind of came to me on the days off, and it's just the practice is incredible, but to do it over and over again, and then to trust that you're sitting, not even to trust, but just to sit down, not even say like, yeah, I do zazen. No, don't do zazen. Just sit down, and when you feel yourself, then sit down. Then that's when the truth is revealed, and then you become actually a true person. And so the practice is really great that way. We're not doing Zen, trying to be Zen people, religious people, or condition our conditioned mind or whatever. We're just sitting down, and when we sit down, when we feel ourselves sitting down, not even feel ourselves sitting down, the instant before we feel ourselves sit down, then we have arrived, and that's ango, this peaceful dwelling, But oh yeah, and what? So I went into the library, the Zen Center library, and I got his book, and I opened it up, and I'm not kidding. My a picture of me is in there, from China. I mean, this is not. I'm not lying. It's a picture of me.
Let's see.
Yeah, of I'm at a stupa,
Oh, that was Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just it just kept on unfolding, and of course, when I was younger, when I was at Upaya in New Mexico, I met Peter Matheson many times, but I just didn't know who he was. And then I read part of the book, and then it's his journey to see, Eiheiji and Sojiji, and it's amazing that many people in the past and many people in the future are doing the same the same journey, so anyways, thank you for listening.